All right, we should be good now. I'm just gonna go straight to face cam and make sure everything's working. Okay, we're still going face cam. I want to make sure that we had everything good. So back to us trying to watch stuff. So we're gonna do what I wasn't able to do yesterday, which was watch videos that I missed. Because first and foremost, I was in the best of moods to watch yesterday. So yeah. Oh, that's what happened. Why is the okay? I'll guess the text for changing scenes actually different now. Okay. No. Close my keyboard. I'll turn my keyboard off and put the cover on it. All right. This is why I'm so glad I put Street Deck fan so we can watch. So we're watching the Mario movie trailer first. The new one that came out yesterday during the direct. I didn't even have time to watch it. I'm being completely honest. Like I remember seeing like a bit of the end of the direct. Oh, I burped at the end of it, so I blew it.
You blew it.
But I watched the end of the direct yesterday, and they were talking about stuff about like the Plumber's shoes in the Mario movie is gonna be at Nintendo New York. Which hey, cool, I guess. That's nice.
I love it.
All right. Oh wait, I forgot I had activity feed enabled. Okay, I'm gonna put vertical back here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to add display capture over on the vertical layout so I can try. An emphasis on it. Try to have. I forgot I have to like hit transform here. It's pretty annoying. Oh, what? It's not locked. So what the heck is happening? Oh wait, no, that's right. I forgot the keyboard. I'll turn back on really quick. Yeah, I have that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that under. Okay. I don't know if it's gonna work, but hey. I'm gonna test backtracking really quick just to make sure everything's working. Okay, backtracking worked good. Okay, we're good. Ooh. Wow. Just in case I want to get some highlights for the TikTok, there we go. And the YouTube shorts, whatever. Oh, go. Hit me. Rabble. Got cheeses. Let's go ahead and watch the video. Oh.
Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
That Luma is definitely very detailed, I have to say. No, I missed out because of work. I decided to wait, watch it later. That's a very detailed Luma. Not like it's not gonna be spot on, you know. It's not gonna be, oh, it has to be, it has to be orange. There's no way. But no, hey, for an interesting Luma character, cool.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is.
There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Okay.
My army! Koopas! Goombas! Whatever those things are!
We're really going down this path of somewhat cringy jokes, aren't we?
We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid.
And he came and he went.
Congratulations.
I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save
I still don't like Chris Pratt's voice for Mario. I really don't. Even in the final trailer, I still hate it. It's just him beating him.
him.
You asked for it. This is fun.
Here we go!
Attack!
Let's end this.
Okay. I mean, you didn't have to go all out with the coin block sound. Cool. And cool things for nostalgia purposes and whatnot. All right. David said. I'm gonna do that every time or not?
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. All right. Whew. Well, anyway, next video before we get to the main event, which will be pretty. It's going to be long anyway. It's an entire hour of an interview, and we will definitely be pausing a bunch. So yeah. So this second video, which we were supposed to do yesterday, but Wednesday night, but you can tell I was very tired and also not really much in the mood. So anyway, our girl pal Jacob R has another video on his hands for another quote unquote refurbished console. This time going straight from one of the worst offenders of retro game collecting, GameStop. So let's dabble right in.
I bought a refurbished Spider-Man PS4 Pro from GameStop, and in this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at it and see if they actually refurbished anything. So let's go ahead and open up this box that they sent to me, and we're going to see what exactly is inside. Alright, so here's the box they sent me, and it says pre-owned console on here, and a bunch of crap is sliding around. Probably just a power cord.
Maybe. Or worse, it could just be one of the hard drives that's literally unscrewed. That did not sound like a great sound. Come back and just want to see.
And a bunch of crap is sliding around. Probably just the power cord. We've got a pre-owned PS4. It's actually refurbished.
Okay,
I don't know why it
never
says
mind.
pre-owned on the box.
All right.
But if you're not familiar, GameStop does actually differentiate used and refurbished. So refurbished means they usually fix something, open it up, and clean it out. Used just means like a customer sold them a working system and they sold it as used, which I think that's the way it should be done. Like props to GameStop on that compared to a lot of the other consoles we've seen from certain places recently. Let's go ahead and see what's inside of here. All right, so I'm hoping they did not use their special magic eraser on the glossy surface of this special edition console.
Oh, keep in mind, the PS4 Pro, I think, came out in 2016. Alexa, when did the PS4 Pro release? November 10th. November 10th, I was right. Oh. So, we're looking at we're looking at a console that will be 7 by November. Wow. It's old.
I've got, actually, this is a pretty useful guide there. That's very specific. Kind of cool to see. We've got, let me just scoot this around right here. We've got a red controller. I'm not sure. Oh, that thing is real beat up. I think this is actually the correct controller for the Spider-Man PS4 Pro, if I remember correctly. They always leave these stickers all over them. We've got.
It looks like it. To me, it's not going to be my Crimson Red controller PS5, but hey, it's a Spider-Man controller.
An HDMI cable, just like this is just such a random HDMI cable that somebody traded in, I guess.
Oh,
got our power.
That's the same one that I usually. Now I'm almost convinced that feels like the one that we. I feel like I'm convinced that might be the one that my brother brought back because we had a PS4 Pro at one point. That might actually be the same cable, the HDMI cable. Look at that.
My cable, just like.
Hold on, I don't know the brand name. If it's Amazon Basics, probably not. But that looks very similar to the one we had used for the. This actually might be the same console. Oh, I don't know about the charging cable though, but the power cord and the HDMI seem to feel like that is definitely my brother's former PS4 Pro. Formerly owned. So yeah, gotta be.
Random HDMI cable that somebody traded in, I guess. Got our power cord, and we actually have like a pretty nice braided cable. That's pretty nice. Now let's open this up and see what's in here. Nice to see that there's barely any packaging for the PS4. Now we open it up from the bottom. And that part is not glossy. Now, for the big reveal, let's see if they scratched it up. And oh wow. So this is weird. They actually did not use Magic Eraser on this, but this thing is like mutilated, partly because they kind of just slapped it in here with no bubble wrap or anything. And
Yeah, I think so too. Like if this was like this has to be my brother's somehow. Because my brother also had that same PS4 Pro. Like it's somewhere in my head. It has to be the same one, considering that same HDMI cable we had.
And I want to mention that I do appreciate GameStop sends OEM controllers. I've purchased tons of stuff from GameStop and never gotten a non-OEM controller unless I was like specifically buying a third-party controller. But this one looks pretty nice except for the back part. Not sure why it looks like that. But then here, this console. Let me see if I can get it at a good angle so you guys can see. Like you can just kind of see.
That definitely feels like it. There was definitely scratches on it.
Fingerprints and scratches all over this, which I, kind of expected. This thing gets scratches very easily. It is a glossy console. Now, honestly, I think some of these scratches are from the box inside because there was no bubble wrap. And if you look closely, you probably can't see it, but there's a bunch of like cardboard dust remnants, and that's just because it was scraping against the cardboard the entire trip here. Now, here on the back, we see all the ports, and at first glance, all the ports look okay. This thing has clearly been opened up before. There's actually, is that a missing screw? I've never actually opened up a PS4 Pro, so I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a screw right there, but it looks like there should be, and I don't see one.
Yeah. So maybe it might.
Disappointing they lost that screw, but the HDMI port looks good, which a lot of times they open these consoles up to replace the HDMI port because it has a broken HDMI port. But yeah, since it is refurbished,
it was such a big problem with, especially with the early PS4s. Like I remember when I watched Inside Gaming, considering like this is before Mishima shut down 3 years prior. Like when the recall happened with the PS4s having that faulty HDMI port, and yet send it in to get it repaired, so that way you can get your console back and get a new. Thankfully, we didn't have that with the PS4 and Pro. So that's good, but man, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. And especially considering that like the PS4 like Pro was like the loudest of the consoles. Like it hurt like hell just to try to, like, mentally speaking, it hurt like hell just to try to get a game to be completely stable without it like absolutely overheating and crashing the game. Like I hated those times.
I'm sure they opened it up and did something to the insides. So a couple more things to talk about real quick. First of all, this power plug has some bent pins. Hopefully that fits in the outlet, but that.
Oh, I think that should fit 100%. That should be all right. That I now I almost feel like it's like I'm dead ass think this was Sam's console. I really think this was Sam's PS4 Pro somewhere in the back of my mind.
It's just kind of odd that
it's just with that HDMI cable and power cable. That just it feels really close to being that.
It's that bent. Also, I looked it up, and this controller is not the one that came with this console originally. The one that came with the console had white analog sticks, white buttons. This one has black. So maybe it is the same console, but like somehow, the white controller that came with it, ended up getting lost somewhere or whatnot. Very possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's very possible. So kind of unfortunate. Would have been nice to get the white ones, but it's kind of close. At least it's OEM. That is the.
OEM is going to be 100% better anyway.
A lot of companies. Actually, the left trigger doesn't feel the best. We'll test it out soon. Let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see if it works.
I am not confident the controller will be good by the end of this. Absolutely not.
All right, plugged in. Let's go ahead and turn it on. We do have life. It's got a blue light. Any mystery games? Nope, no mystery games. So the console is booted up and set up now. I do really appreciate how the PlayStation consoles can boot up and get set up very quickly compared to the Xbox.
That was fast,
Like an hour. It just makes you update and all that crap. Which, speaking of update, I'm curious what firmware version this is on, so let's check.
Let's see.
All right, so this is on 9.60, which is actually not super recent. I'll throw up the date on the screen
Okay.
when it's from, but we're on 10.
I mean, I guess somehow, if this was my brother's PS4 Pro, somehow the GameStop employees just noticed that, oh, let's update the system before we, factory reset it and send it over to Jacob. I mean, I don't think that actually be the case, but that'd be dead ass funny if that was. Oh, I can't believe I hit my mic there.
Point something now, so this is not super recent. Probably been sitting in their warehouse for a while. But let's go ahead and put a game in and make sure our game works. Now we're playing around some, and all the buttons seem to work. Now I mentioned this earlier, and I'm noticing this even more. The left L2, the trigger, is just like, it doesn't have the tension there. Like, it seems like the spring, I don't know what happened to it, but it's just I don't know if you can tell, but it's just yeah, it doesn't spring back as it should. It's just kind of limp compared to the.
Yeah, almost. Oh god. Oh no, I hate the limp triggers on the PlayStation controllers. I mean, it happened to the X-Bone controllers. I'm saying X-Bone purposely because that's a lot of times what people call the Xbox One, the X-Bone. The X-Bone controller just like had its fair share of issues with the triggers and whatnot. But like the fact that it can also happen on the PS4 controllers was just really shocking. It's like, wow.
R2, it's actually swinging back. Not having issues with it. It just doesn't feel quite as it should. So a couple more things. I did connect to the internet and logged into my PlayStation account, and it does indeed work. So fortunately, this console's not banned, unlike one of the other consoles I purchased recently.
Yeah, that was the Wish.com console, which was also stolen apparently. So, yeah, and on top of that, it had a fuck ton of cigarette dust. Not cigarette dust, but like small bugs that got into it, and also smoker's dust. That's what I meant to say. Smoker's dust. Again, I'm saying dust. Smoker scent. Holy crap. So yeah. If anything, I feel a little more confident that this one will not be as dirty as that one, but still have some bit of issues.
Throw a link on the screen if you want to check that out.
Especially considering this might have been
it's kind of concerning.
my brother's
back to the
PS4 Pro.
This thing, like, you can press it so lightly and it'll trigger. Like, just if you look at the screen here, I'm scrolling through some games, and when I play, I just leave my fingers resting on the triggers, and like with even a tiny bit of pressure, it triggers the left trigger, which is why it's coming up with this genre thing.
Holy. Oh no. What? Oh god, this is horrible. This is horrible already.
Like you can see, I'm barely touching it, and just resting your fingers there, it triggers it. So that's actually a bit disappointing. Now, if you rest your fingers somewhere else, it's probably not a big deal. But I rest my fingers on the triggers, so that would kind of be a deal breaker for me to actually play with this controller.
True. Like, man, GameStop, like, I mean, at least they're honest, about like the fact that they have pre-owned and they have refurbished. But if you even aren't doing the controller justice with the refurbished, then sorry, but you blew it.
You blew it.
But anyways, the console, other than that, seems to work fine. Let's go ahead and turn it off and open it up and see what the inside looks like. Because I actually, just like all GameStop consoles, I don't know why it's always with GameStop consoles, but I went and smelled it, and sure enough, it smells like it's been in a home where somebody was either smoking cigarettes or smoking a Juul, or I don't know anything about that stuff.
How do you do, fellow kids?
But I know what.
Oh, that's a good edit. Why is that clip just so relevant today?
It smells like. It's not too bad, but let's turn this thing off, open it up, and see what the inside looks like. So the first thing we're going to do here is take the top cover off, and the first thing I noticed just by looking at it, it looks like somebody has pried up on it before and made some indentations, which are not really huge.
Ah, man. Again, we're getting to the point where it almost feels like this is my brother's console from back then. It really does feel like I think I've had a similar indentation on that. Man.
Probably can't see him on camera, but just slightly noticeable. Now let's just go ahead and pry this up and get the top cover off. All right, we got this top piece pried up most of the way. And let's take a look at this. Oh, this actually looks very clean. I see like a tiny bit of dust there, but that does look like they opened it up and cleaned it out somewhat, or blew it out.
Good.
All right, so closer look at the fan, and this thing clearly has been cleaned out. I don't know if they use compressed air or if they use some sort of wipes or what, but everything in here actually does look really nice and clean. Now let's go ahead and get down to the next layer, and I will say that indeed it does smell like smoke, cigarette smoke, jewel pod smoke, something like that. I don't know why so many of these consoles come like that. So actually, before we go further on this end, I took off this little shielding right here. Looks fine, but I took out the hard drive as well, which is on the back. No issues there. Looks okay. Now we're gonna actually go down. Actually, I just noticed covered in a nice layer of dust. Again, probably hard to see, but
Oh, okay. That's a decent amount of dust there. So they didn't clean everything. Oh God. Like I said, I knew it was going to be a slightly better of a start than the Wish.com PS5, but this is still not redeeming for me yet.
you can see that layer of dust there. So that was not open and cleaned out. Now we're gonna go actually flip to the bottom of this console and take off the bottom piece here, which kind of snaps out of place similarly to the top portion. So
I forgot they snap off.
It always sounds like it's gonna break here, but I don't think it's going to. It's just all these clips in place.
I mean, at least with the PS5, you can actually like take the covers off and put your own covers on, which is cool. I like that. But man, the fact that they even did it on the PS4 just to like hold the parts together. Whew. Wow.
All right, so it slides off, and let's take a look at this, and that's got some dust, but nothing too crazy. The red also kind of helps hide it. Oh, actually, there is a good bit of dust right there.
Not a whole lot, but yeah.
So I don't think they opened up the bottom and cleaned it out. Maybe they did. I don't know. It doesn't look too terrible, but there's definitely a little bit of filth down there. So after taking out about 1,500 screws, we're finally down to having this metal piece free. Let's go ahead and take it off and see what it looks like under here.
Metal piece on top looks great.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's some slight dust here and there. And I will say that the further down I get to the board, the more it smells like cigarettes or jewel pod. I don't know the exact term, but it just does not smell good. Yeah, but let's go ahead and take off this clamp right here. And of course, we're going to see if some thermal paste was replaced or not. We're just going to go all the way down.
I'm not confident in this one.
And see what was done here. All right, so we got this back clamp piece off. Just going to put that to the side. And yeah, I mean, the board itself looks pretty good. I don't see any clumps of dirt or anything.
No.
There's like a slight
really could have been
dust in some areas, but
like I mean, small bits of dust, okay, like that or like just built up for like a little bit, okay, nothing to complain about. But like when you have like a heaping amount, then yeah, that's really not clean.
Again, nothing too crazy. All right, so before I took the board all the way out, I had to go back and take the power supply out. There's some dust in the power supply. Again, nothing too crazy. Everything's just exposed there. Let's go ahead and put that to the side, flip it back over, and now we should be able to remove the entire board now and see what the thermal paste looks like. So let's go ahead and pull this out. There it goes. All right, it is loose, and there's the thermal paste. Wow, that looks really goopy. Clearly does not look. That's actually not nearly as bad as obviously like a 360 or a PS3.
That's very true.
Now, I don't know if that's been repasted because honestly, this is my first time opening a Spider-Man PS4 Pro.
I mean, at least I can say it's not like 15 years old dried and whatnot. Man, that could it could be better, but compared to what I've seen with like the PS4 with the PS3 CPU thermal paste just so dried, that could be a whole lot worse. Again, kind of bad, but nothing horrendous.
So I don't know if that's what the thermal paste looks like originally. I'll look up some photos and try to determine that. But I will say that this, I don't know if they came all the way down to this board because this board is very dusty. Camera doesn't do it justice. I'll try to put it in the light, but like when I wipe my finger along it, there's tons of dust. Again, it's not caked, so it's probably not a big deal, but this is probably why this smells a little odd. And it actually smells a little bit fruity now. So yeah, it's
Fruity? Oh, okay. No.
pod or some sort of combination of jewel pod and cigarette smoke. I almost wonder if the guy that's repairing these at GameStop smokes and he's like smoking around the consoles and
Yeah, just like all right, wait, hold on. I need this again. I bet the guy's just sitting there repairing. It's like, hey, do you got me a PS3 I can refurbish right now? Okay, I'll get to that in a few minutes. Just let me go ahead and blow a burst right here on this PS4 Pro. This takes a whiff. There you go. You got cigarette dust. Or no scent. Or vape scent for that point.
getting the consoles to smell like cigarette smoke. I don't know, because it's happening to a lot of consoles. Yeah, again, doesn't look too bad. Let's go ahead and go all the way down.
Like,
So
I'm actually
heatsink here.
I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised that the CPU does not look that bad, considering how bad we've seen him so far with DKOldies and Luca Games, and especially at Wish.com.
Board. I can look at this HDMI port right here and probably tell if they replaced that. And oh yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let me zoom in here. All right, so we're zoomed in all the way here, and we have our HDMI port at the end of the board. And usually when I open these consoles up, a lot of times GameStop has replaced an HDMI port. Now that looks like it's never been replaced because the solder pads look factory just from
it is.
If I come over here to the digital out port, this one has some dried up flux around it. Which seems like that would be odd if it came from factory like that. So my thought is that maybe they replaced the digital out port. Now I'm not sure who actually uses
for the
this
optical
port.
I'd say maybe if you had, like, let's say in the case of the Astros, with the mix amp, you could just plug right in to because I have one right here. I have a mix amp right over here. I'm going to pull it out. If I can find it. If I can find it, that is. I have a mix amp lying around. Okay, I got it. So let's say if you had a mix amp, I'm going to go ahead into the face cam layout for this. So if you had a mix amp, of course, but the one time when I need to focus, okay. Cam, IV cam. Why is it like every time? I'm just trying to autofocus. Okay. Can't focus, please. Why? Again, I'm trying to focus here and it's not letting me focus. Holy crap. Preview. That's so out of sync. It is so out of sync right now. What the hell is going on here? Oh, that's contrast. Hold on. That's why it did. Okay. Okay. So, yep, optical. That port. If you have that, it might be perfect for it. Okay? Only if you had like a mix amp. I've had this one for 4 years. Keep in mind. So, yeah. If you have a mix amp and it has that optical audio port right there. Yeah, so that way you can just keep listening to your audio if you want to for the mix amp. Same thing with my Go XLR. It has a freaking. Okay, now I got closed out because you're now seeing my face cam again. But I was trying to fix the zoom, but there, but not zoom, autofocus. But yeah, it also has optical audio, but PS5 does not support it. So I have a box that will convert that. which has been sitting in my drawer because the box was chewed up by Milo. So I got one. All right. Anything.
Let me know down below if you do, but that's my first guess, is they replaced that port because it was broken or something. But I mean, looking at those 3 solder pads right there, those kind of look factory-ish. So again, I'm not sure. I'm just making guesses here because, like I said, when GameStop opens up these consoles and calls them refurbished, that usually means they fixed something. All right, metal plate is off.
It's bullshit.
And this
They
side
don't
looks
fix
okay,
it.
but then we get down to this side. Oh yeah. So like.
Oh. Oh God. No. That is not refurbished. Oh. Oh. No, I need to get it. No. I dare, like, I'm pointing an air can out of the camera. An air can. No, you need you need to blow that thing. Blow it. Like, come on. That's not clean. Blow it. Like, come on. It's right there. Yeah, I know I just sprayed can air, but it's true. That needs to be cleaned out. Oh my God.
Terrible on camera, but there is definitely some dust caked around the heatsink there.
That is really
The
caked
entire
in,
fin
man.
just has like a pretty thick layer of dust on each little fin there. Again, kind of hard to see on camera, but it is there. They definitely did not open up or not get down this far to the console and clean this out, because
They
if
didn't do
blown this out,
anything.
you wouldn't have this much dust on here, because I've played this console for like 10 minutes. And we see even more evidence of that as we get further down, because you can see that pretty thick layer of dust around those cracks there. The fan does have some dust on here that I can just wipe off with my fingers. I don't even know if I call it dust. It's more like cigarette dirt, dust. I don't know what to call it. But again, just this is not nearly as bad as like that DKOldies PS3, but it's just interesting to open these things up and seeing what they've actually done to them. And I'm still not sure
Yeah,
what they
very true.
fixed or refurbished. Maybe they took the disk drive out and that was not working. So I got the whole disk drive out and just taking a peek in here. I mean, it looks pretty clean in there. I don't think see anything obvious that was like replaced or done. Same with the top piece here. It is kind of dusty inside. So yeah, I have no idea what they fixed here. I'm like 99% sure they fixed something, because that's just what GameStop does when they say refurbished. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Hoo-wee. What a thing that happened. What a thing. A freaking refurbished PS4. That is not a good look. All right. So this one, okay, so now I want to get to this. I don't have a whole lot of time to watch the whole thing in one sitting. Unless we end up eating at like 6 or whatnot, maybe. But we are watching the interview with the former employee Jake Sawyer. It's an entire hour. I don't know what I want to do afterwards. I don't know if I want to do any runs or try to complete Galaxy with Luigi, because I finished one dome already. I want to try get as much as I can done with that, but I don't know if I want to do it today because it's Luigi. Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. It was a call for my old job. That's all.
What up, peeps? It's your boy Heck and Steve, and look who I have with me today.
Heck and
Jigsaw
Steve.
himself. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely, man. So we are going to be talking a little bit about DKOldies. I know some people may be, sick and tired of hearing about it, but it's a really hot topic right now. So, like, what are you going to do other than? So,
True.
let's go ahead. We'll start off with something easy here, and why don't you just go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm kind of nobody. I'm just like a guy that is interested in all different sorts of things. So
Like me.
I've been playing like Nintendo 64 and shit since I was probably 3 years old. It's one of my first memories actually is playing Extreme G2. So yeah, so
Right.
I've been into this shit for a while, and actually as I got older, I seemed to go backwards. So now I have like Super Nintendo and a Genesis, and
Good shit, man. Good shit. Like me. Even though my first console, I'll actually one up to Jigsaw. Jigsaw's first console was a 64. Mine was actually Super Nintendo, despite despite the fact that I'm younger than him, probably. If I had to guess, because looking at those videos that we watched, I think last week on that Jigsaw posted, I want to give a take that he's probably in his 30s, if I'm being all completely honest. Maybe like mid 30s at like best. Yeah, like Super Nintendo was my first console. I then had GameCube. I didn't own the 64 until like 5 years ago, but I did play a small bit of it with like the original Mario Party 2. I do remember playing Mario Party 2 on that 64. Which was my cousin's. Sorry, I was bad at saying name. I don't want to say stream in case I dox somebody. I just want to make sure. But yeah. Considering the fact we both like retro gaming, the fact ironically considering he was mentioning the whole I bought Super Nintendo. I actually have a Super NT on pre-order, which will be coming later this year, most likely in the fall, from what Analog said. But it's the last rendition of the Super NT that I wanted to get, so I got it. I got the black version, which can accompany my Mega SG on the desk, so I can have Genesis and Super Nintendo games on there. So yeah, so I'm there with Jigsaw. We are retro gaming collectors or whatnot.
and an NES and shit that I never even had. But I mean,
Ooh.
aside from playing video games, I skateboard. I fucking have like a million of these fucking things laying all around my house.
Wow.
And I play guitar a little bit, and
Oh, cool.
I'm a dad. That's kind of it. I don't do anything special. I fucking work
I
at
didn't know he was dead.
McDonald's, so
All right, so maybe.
I
All right,
hear
so
you,
maybe
man.
then
Well,
like
yeah,
late
whatever
30s,
pays
early
the bills,
40s.
right?
yeah, exactly.
And before we got started, we were talking about music and stuff. He's huge into metal, and in particular, like you said like late '80s, early '90s, like the older shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, music in general, I really am attracted more to like the old stuff, but I
I
think the
mean,
first era of metal and like death metal and stuff in the mid 80s probably the best.
yeah, I'd say like mid
Yeah,
80s to like
because they actually tried. You know what I mean? Like nowadays,
2000s, like
everybody kind
rock.
of sounds the
I
same. Back then,
I
you
I
know,
kind of fall into that. Like mid 80s to 2000s rock is where I'd fall in for, as like in terms of like the genres that I usually like. It doesn't depend if it's like grunge, post grunge, new metal, or like new wave. I like it.
they were trying to stand out, and it was just a good
Yeah,
time for music, man.
because that's how you
Or
got
heavy
famous
metal,
back then
whatever.
was you had to bring something different to the table or nobody was going to care. Whereas
Yeah,
nowadays you can promote yourself on the internet, so everybody copies everybody else, and you just have these
yeah.
a sea of bands that sound the same. So
Yeah.
that's essentially why I like the older stuff better.
Yeah, it's like a blessing and a curse though, because you know you get more opportunities to find niche like bands that you like and follow, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Oh
how it
yeah.
used to be, where it's just like a random tape or a CD you get in the store, or you hear something on the radio, which obviously you never heard death metal and stuff on the radio, so it was
Yeah.
real underground shit.
Yeah, you
Oh
really
yeah.
had to like know somebody back then to be able to hear that stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead. We'll do like a general overview here. So, like, what was it like to work for DK
All right,
Oldies? I
here we
know
go. We
you
got the meat and
recently
potatoes.
said you worked there from 2019 to 2020. So this was like right before the pandemic shit happened, right?
Yeah, actually, looking back on it, I think I started there technically in 2018, probably like mid to late 2018,
Okay, so around the same time that I had affiliate. Okay.
because I remember I bought a Super Nintendo player pack. This is just how I got the job, real quick. I bought a Super Nintendo 2-player pack, and when I
All right, so it's stuff we
purchased it,
already
I
know.
noticed that they're only an hour away. So I was like, why wait a few days when I can drive up there and grab it?
Yeah.
And I was like so impressed with all the games and shit that they had, because the store is big. And kept telling Joey like how cool everything was, and I was looking at all the shit as he was ringing me up. And I guess like somebody overheard me talking about how I worked at Burger King at the time, and like they weren't paying me a lot. And or maybe Joey told them or whatever, because I think I mentioned that I was like, if you guys are hiring, like I'll totally work for you. And a couple days later, Scott Newton, the co-owner, he called me and he offered me a job, um, which I thought was even cooler. So at first I was really
Hmm.
excited, and I also thought that this was like, I thought this was going to be like a wholesome family-owned company. Like they
Yeah.
weren't going to lie to anyone. They were doing what they were telling me they were doing, which was trying to keep retro gaming alive. That's like their tagline or something.
Yeah.
Um, but pretty quickly, probably like within a week or two, I learned that it sucked to work there, and that the owner was
Yeah.
kind of a piece of shit.
Oh
uh,
no, 100%. You are absolute. You are 150% correct about that. Drew is a piece of shit, especially with that video of him like harassing, like a former employee Anthony who used to do a podcast with him, and on top of that, the fucking rare ass Game Boy from China. They literally destroyed. Like, Drew is not to be trusted, man.
my shipping manager, Rob, made my life hell, kind of. I don't. He probably had shit going on in his own life that made him angry, so
I'm very
he
sure.
would pick on me a lot because I was the newest employee. Everybody else that worked there had been there for a little while.
I mean that I feel like that's true for every job, not just because you're part of DKOldies or whatnot. It unfortunately comes with the culture of where you're working in. Like if the workplace culture at the job you applied for is in absolutely horrendous condition, then you're not gonna have a good experience whatsoever. And yeah.
But when they hired me is when they were kind of starting to hire a lot more people. So I ended up not liking it, and it was pretty depressing. Um, a lot of the time, I didn't like Drew. So I
Glad he
resorted
didn't.
to trying to go on smoke breaks and just go outside whenever I could, just to get away from them. But
Kill the
whenever I
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, whenever I would go out with the rest of them to smoke a cigarette or something, though, it would still be depressing. You've got Joey complaining about everything, and
Wow.
Dustin just the way that he was, very negative a lot of the time. So it was a depressing atmosphere.
So I worked at a couple of local game stores, including GameStop, which I know is not, I mean, that's global, but I worked at another local shop. And the way that you described how you got your job is exactly how you get those types of jobs. They
Okay.
don't want people coming in and being like, here's my resume. They want cool dudes coming in, and they kind of suck you in with that vibe. I mean, obviously, who doesn't want to be around games all the time and
Yeah.
shit like that? I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, but
I
yeah,
mean, I do the
so
same. I mean, I would probably do the same if I was running a game business, but like, not treat like my coworkers like shit. Like that's not what I like. No, like otherwise, like I don't want to like feel like I want to get like absolutely no fucks to a person. Like if there is something like a problem, like if let's say if I'm shipping an order and the person stated that the the game, the inside of the console is completely dirty and whatnot, I will just go out of my way to have proper cleaning done on the console, then bring it back to to get shipped, and hopefully have a better response. To do the proper things.
You mean all right? You mentioned that Joey was the one that rung you up. So like when you got there, did he just like open the door and just like shine on you, and he's just like, come into the kingdom?
Coming to, oh, it's me. Me, the one and only Joey of DKOldies. The one who believes that we are not a scam and we are absolutely doing the most faithful of all retro gaming collectors. Said absolutely no one.
You blew it.
And I will check you out at the register.
Well, so at that point, like they don't do this anymore since COVID, but at that point they let you just walk in the store. So
Oh, no
if
shit.
you could fucking find the door, which it was hard to find, you could just walk right in. And Joey's desk was kind of like all the way in the back of this big ass warehouse room.
Mhm.
And Joey would pretty much, and this happened for any customer that would walk in. He'd see you, he'd immediately stand up and wave and have a smile on his face. And this is what did suck me in, was because Joey puts on an act. That's not really how he is. Like the way he's in the videos is the same way he would talk to customers and the way he talked to me. So
His retail voice.
yeah, and what was impressive was that I thought that he remembered my name. I think the next time that I had gone there after that, he did remember what my name was, but it was probably pretty close together. And then I remember going there again, and he was like, "Have you ever been here before?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So like, I don't know, it just made me feel kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't really expect people to remember strangers and shit, but
Oh,
if you're
no.
gonna do that the first two times, it was kind of weird that you're like, "Who are you again?" Um, but yeah, he would try to be like,
I mean, it's not completely unjustified. Like, but it's like, if you're just doing that and you already know the name of the person just to piss them off, then yeah, you need to fuck right off.
really polite, let me know if I can help you with anything, and always have smiles on his face and stuff. But yeah, he wasn't even like that in real life.
It was just disingenuine.
Yeah, it was all just to make you feel comfortable so that you would spend money there and stay there and stuff.
Yeah. But I know exactly how you feel where you said,
I
it
mean,
started out okay and then
the fact that we knew this was, probably going to be knowledge that common knowledge. I had that feeling. I'm pretty sure everybody had that feeling that Joey was just being disingenuous on video intentionally to try to pull us. Oh, we can come to our store, get all of our amazing consoles or some shit, just to try to lure in like all of like the like as RT states, he hates using the term, but it's true at least right now. The normies, those who do not take gaming so seriously to a point where like, oh no, like why is my console dirty? Like it needs to be clean and whatnot. To think about this stuff, they're literally targeting that demographic.
and it just like went to shit. It really is like a switch flips off. Like one day you just come in and you're like, damn, this is not cool.
Yeah, I mean, I went in first time and I'm like, this is awesome. Like they're training me how to do all this shit, and I'm so excited. And then a few days go by, and it's like, man, this Rob guy is kind of a jackass. And then a few more days go by, and it's like that fucking owner is like never here, and whenever he is here, he's just being kind of a dick. And yeah, I didn't even actually think about the fact that we weren't even opening systems to clean them actually for a few weeks, because I didn't know that was something that they were supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, that's something they definitely advertise that they do, and we'll dive more into
Yeah.
that in a little bit. But I was actually kind of curious, like, do they pay well,
Yeah.
or was it more comparable to like a regular like GameStop kind of gig where they pay you close to minimum
Sorry,
wage,
I had
maybe
side
like
stream.
a buck over or something?
So I
Do they offer
googled.
like a discount or anything like for employees?
Well, I think I got paid like 9 or 9.25 or something when I worked there. And I don't really know how much GameStop pays. I did do a Google search earlier, and I think it said that in 2020 they were getting like $14, but that could be wrong. I don't know.
I mean, that's about the same I make.
Um,
Maybe where you live, yeah.
maybe. But yeah, I was getting paid like somewhere between 9 and 950 probably.
Oh god, that's even worse. No.
Was it typically like full time or part time? Did they cut hours? Was it that kind of work environment? Like,
It was part time, but no, they didn't really cut hours. I was on there every day, but they didn't want to put anybody on longer than they had. They didn't want to pay anybody more than they had to, basically. So
yeah. So if you got close to OT, they were like, you gotta go.
that didn't even fucking happen.
Yeah, that's just like my old job. That's how you know you're not in the union is when the like okay you're going overtime. You can't stay in here anymore. Nope. Oh, you gotta go out for the day. See you next time. Overtime's beneficial if you're in a union.
Right. Yeah. I figured.
Maybe sometimes actually during the summer. I remember summer of 2022, we would actually, the store was supposed to close at 4, but we would stay there past 4. Um, Most of the people would leave, like the shipping manager and Drew would be gone and Scott would be gone. So it would actually just be me and Dustin and Heather and a couple other people there. And it would be really relaxed. So yeah, we did work a few weeks of longer hours during that time.
Gotcha. Okay. And
Uh,
then like,
I hope everybody that worked there, after Drew and Joey and all the managers left, I hope they were at least very relieved. You know, like seriously relieved that like, oh goodness, like we can relax for now. And take our time or some shit.
like employee discount at all, like 10% off. Did they let you like print stuff like to check out and bring back? Because GameStop does that.
Yeah, so we did have a discount. I don't remember exactly how much it was, but I remember that it was pointless.
Hmm.
I remember it really irked me because their shit is so fucking expensive. And I would go to, they're like, oh, you've got an employee discount. And I go to buy something, and it's like, I still have to pay a fuck ton of money.
Right.
So it
Yep.
was kind of stupid. I only really used it if I was getting a game for my kid or something. Because I didn't like buying stuff from them after I noticed that it was just kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I started
And
getting
that,
shit off of eBay instead.
yeah,
I mean, honestly,
that's
smart decision because, of course, we all know DKO is a major scam when it comes to hiking the prices up and also not delivering the promise on refurbished consoles.
does happen for sure. By the way, for anybody that is
Yeah.
wondering, Best Buy, I worked there, and the discount there was the shit. It's the best discount ever. So what
Oh shit.
they do is they offer you cost plus 5%. So all those $40 HDMI cables that they sell in there, you can get for like $3.
Oh wow.
Wow. See, if I was already working for Best Buy, that would be nice. But I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Because that's where all their margin is. That's why every time you go to a store like that, they always try to sell you a bunch of extra shit with whatever you're buying. Because like the main thing, like a TV or a computer or a PlayStation, they don't make shit off of that. But if you buy an extra controller, a carrying bag, a couple games, that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
But I was kind of
Hmm.
anticipating you were going to tell me that about DKOldies, like it was going to be like a little bit above minimum. I think the minimum in Pennsylvania is 725 still, which has been the same federally for like, I don't know, 14, 15 years by now.
When
Yeah.
I got my first fucking job, I used to work at Hershey Park.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah.
I got paid 725, and I think I was 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that was like 11 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, it is. By the way, it is still 725
Okay,
by
so
federal law
not much
here.
old. Okay, so not much older than me. All right. Because keep it in mind. Because keep it. So essentially, just a 1 year old to a year older than my brother. All right. I really thought just from just from judging the mid 30s range, but you said 11 years ago, English 15 then. So that confirms.
Which
Yeah.
is fucking insane.
But if you worked at
Wow.
Hershey Park, at least you got like free admission and shit. So that kind of traded
Peru.
off, right?
Yeah, bro. In fact, everybody in my family, except for my mom, so my dad and my 3 siblings, we all worked there. I'm the youngest, So all throughout my childhood, we'd get fucking free tickets, and there were so many of us working. There were 3 of them working there at the same time at one point, so we would get like all these
Wow.
free tickets and shit. Yeah, my dad
That
was fucking security too, and I like
Turn
hockey,
up.
so like sometimes my dad would do security at the fucking hockey rink and bring me home game pucks and stuff.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see.
Man.
So with like jobs like that, man, it's like the discounts and the perks is very, very big. It's a very big selling point for that shit.
yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead. We'll move on here. Pricing is a big issue with DK Oldies. Were they always that expensive? Like even when you worked there? Because I know Joey has said in previous videos that it's ramped up recently, and that's why it's so high.
No, they've always been like that ever since I started. I remember like when I first started to find out, because I think I was looking up stuff, retro stuff online, and was when I found the DK Oldies thing, and um, I remember seeing all over the place that the one problem people had was how expensive it was.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't remember what their prices exactly were like, but I remember like every time I would show people something on their website, they'd be like, "Holy shit, it costs that fucking much." And I
Right.
always kind of assumed that the reason they overpriced everything was because you were paying to be guaranteed that it was going to be cleaner and work better than if you got it from like eBay or something.
Yeah, like a
So that,
luxury experience.
yeah, like I thought it was kind of just like a security kind of thing. Like I know that I'm paying an extra 50 fucking dollars for this thing or something, but at least I know that it's going to come the way it's supposed to come.
Yeah,
Which is
exactly.
why it's even more bullshit that it doesn't, because that's what you're
True.
fucking
Yeah.
paying for.
Yeah, and you know what? Now that that's been brought more to light because of, other YouTubers doing their unboxings and stuff, that's a big fucking problem for their business and for, consumers because it's misleading and we all know that, they've always been fucking misleading with that shit where they have like the
Oh
cheap
yeah.
price on their website
Oh yeah.
for like 14.99, then you click on it and then it's like 14.99 for the shitty cosmetically flawed
Yeah, I
version.
fucking hated
Yeah.
that
Dude, it's so stupid.
No.
because it
And
looks like it's on sale.
yeah, and it's
You don't.
always advertised on sale.
Yeah, like it's a picture of, and it's not even the picture of the actual thing. It's just a picture, generic picture of like a fucking NES.
Yeah.
Yes. Literally see, even Jake stores proved my point. Like this is just this like it's so insane to just see how fucking stupid these guys are. Oh, I'm so happy that about wanting to see them fall so down from grace.
And the price they're showing is the cosmetically flawed one until you click on it. So you're thinking, oh, this fucking perfectly good NES is on sale.
Right. And it's inconsistent too, because like you'll go to one game and it'll be like a $6 difference for the good condition, and then you go to the next game and it's like a fucking $20 difference. Like who the hell is even making this shit up? Like this is
Like
I
really.
don't even
bad.
know. I really don't even know who prices it. I know that the guy that does like the sell your game stuff I know is Ash. Actually, I feel like Scott does the pricing. I could be wrong, so don't quote me, but I think that Scott might do the pricing for those.
That would make sense. I mean, he's the co-owner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean,
Well,
typically
Scott,
somebody in the higher up or in
you're
a
pretty
corporate
much a prick
like
doing
level
that.
position is the one that's going to be in charge of that. But so if he's watching this, he needs to fucking get his shit together because that's stupid.
Yeah.
Really is, man.
So we've all seen a lot of their videos where they have these huge stacks of consoles through their warehouse. And do you know were those like primarily obtained through website
I have to
trading, or
imagine.
did they have like a street team? Because I've had this theory, like they have like three or four dudes that go out and just clean out every local spot.
I feel like I'm just gonna like predict that most of those were trade in. It really feels like that.
Yard sales, pawn shops, they just take everything so that they can flip it online.
I'd say Goodwills too on top of that, because there are Goodwills that do sell game consoles.
I've
Do you
actually
know?
never heard of that before, but no, we would get everything from they would buy like big collections on eBay and
There we go. Literally proving the point.
Mercari and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
Online.
usually like big
Yep.
collectors that are selling a lot of shit, they would go for those.
Right, because they can get a bulk discount that way.
Yeah. And
It'd be
actually,
like,
I mean,
there
honestly,
might
I
have
almost feel
actually
like
been a couple of people, now that I think
I
of it.
not mean to hit backtrack. I mean, honestly, uh, if we go and look, I'm not gonna delve deep, but if we go look at eBay. Let's just find an NES collection for some weird reason. Nets, okay, but I want to get it sooner. Why is this so late or whatnot? But hey, RAFnet, cool. Let's find like an NES collection. Just an NES collection. What the fuck is this price for $60,000? No. Oh. Oh god, that's bad. Okay. That was a game? Caveman games? Mega Man 2, okay. The Duck Hunt, Mario Bros. Kart. Mario 3, alright. Jaws, really? Oh god, the Karate Kid. Oh no. Oh man. Ain't no way.
And I didn't know this at the time, but there might have actually been a couple of people I remember seeing come in quite often that did go around and collect consoles to sell to them. They weren't like part of the company or anything, but I do remember there being times where guys would come up, they'd park right next to the front door, and a bunch of the employees would know this guy, and this guy would have like a shit ton of systems. So they might have actually
Wow.
had some kind of a street team type thing. Now that I think
Yeah.
of
I
it,
have
but
to
they always
imagine
told
though.
me that everything was just from collections. That's what they tell everyone.
Yeah, those
Wow.
guys could have also been independent.
Wow.
When I worked at a local
Yeah.
store, we had a couple of regulars that did the same thing.
Wow.
So, anyone that's watched any of my previous videos knows that I'm not really big on resellers. However, those types are not getting maximum profit because obviously DK is not buying it all for,
No.
as much as they charge. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit different. I do not mind those types of resellers, other than the fact that they're taking all of the shit from people that want to just go out and find something cool in the wild.
Yeah,
Yep.
these guys weren't, they didn't work for them, but it was like that. They would go out and they knew that they could sell all this shit to DK. That's why DK already knew them so well, is because these guys would just come in every time they got a bunch of shit. So even
Yeah.
though they didn't work for them, yeah, they did know that they could just go to that place every single time and sell all their shit.
This is
Ugh.
sort of related, but not really. But when I worked at
Oy.
GameStop, man, crackheads used to go in the Walmart next door and they'd steal controllers. Like they'd take them out of the packaging and then they just bring them right over to GameStop, sell them for cash. And
Wow.
then I don't
Wow.
know for sure if they were crackheads, but I mean, obviously they
Oh,
were
probably.
hustling. Yeah.
I have to imagine they were. I really have to imagine.
I'm surprised I haven't heard about that happening where I'm from.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens everywhere.
Oh yeah.
But do you know if the collection unboxings are staged at all? Like, do they plant cool games to kind of spice up a video?
No, that is something I can say is totally true. And you're talking about when like Joey opens up a whole box of shit.
Yeah, when he's like, "We just got this trade in from Barry."
Yeah, no, that stuff is true. That's why they get so fucking excited when they're like, a box will come in and Joey will be about to do a video and they'll be like, what's inside the box? Like Joey legitimately doesn't fucking know sometimes what's in there at all. And then there are some
Yeah.
times where they already know that there's a couple of really cool games in there and they don't tell you right away.
Oh yeah, because they want to try to keep the suspense for the TikToks and the YouTubes and whatnot. But, like, no.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's one of the only legit things.
Fuck. What? See, this is why I always use the Stream Deck function that I threw together.
That they fucking do.
Yeah, I had a theory, man, but you know what would be a great, and actually I don't know if I want to give anybody these ideas, but they should totally send dildos to them and he live streams and he just oh god, oh god.
That would be funny as fuck, actually. We
Yes. Yes. We need that, please.
I love it.
just just put like just send like a broken NES. Just send the one they chipped, and then just put like a bunch of dildos on top.
We should do that.
It
Oh,
would
that's
be,
gonna be
but
awesome. That'd be
I would
awesome.
not mind. Well, there's a thing you can do where you can buy a bag of little gummy dicks, and you
mm,
can have it
What?
mailed to whoever the fuck you want. So you should just
Oh my
just
god.
send
my
them a
man,
bag of little
I
gummy
forgot.
dicks. Yeah.
Dick's
I didn't realize they were a thing. Holy shit. Oh man. That is funny, man. That's pretty funny. Wow. All right.
by mail. That's
Eat
what
a
it's
dick,
called.
DK.
I've been waiting 20 minutes and
That's awesome. Well, that's kind of cool, man. I do, I do sometimes watch those unboxing videos just because I just noticed there was always a lot of Star Wars games in there, and I just figured like not everybody has one or two Star Wars games, but apparently they do.
wow, look at us. We got Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo. Oh my god, what a good game. Like you know what stage they are.
No, yeah, I actually used to. My desk would usually be all the way in the back, and it would be next to the table that he used for those unboxings. That's
Yeah.
why, and you can't find these videos anymore, but that's why before they got rid of them for some reason, I was in a couple of the unboxing videos, whether it was just my voice or actually me,
Yeah.
because in
I
two of
remember
them,
you saying that.
yeah, in two of them, I like educated him about something that he didn't know about, and nobody in the chat in the live stream was saying anything. And I actually used to watch it on my phone at my desk to see what they
Oh
would get.
man.
And I remember just being like, well, I don't know what game it was, but I just kind of was like, fun fact, and kind of interrupted this video twice. And then there was one time when I actually opened one of the boxes, or I helped him open it or something.
Yeah. I've poked fun at him
Uh,
before when he does his unboxing videos. I poked fun about him not knowing everything. Obviously, he's a human being. He's not gonna know every fucking thing. I don't know everything either.
of course.
But it's just hilarious to point it out. So the
Yeah.
next question is: we kind of already know the answer to this one, but do they open and refurbish every console,
No
or are
shit.
they lying to everyone?
Personally, I think they're lying to everyone.
The right answer. They are lying to everyone.
I mean, I know they're lying to everyone. What am I saying? The reason I know that is because, like, and I said in my videos, like, I would just, after a while, I just started opening them and doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And with some of the systems like NESs and Super Nintendos, they'll be sitting in people's basements for a long ass time. And so, like, bugs will crawl in there and they'll get pet hair.
Yep.
And like I said in the video, like, a lot of NESs would actually have fucking Coca-Cola or juice spilled in them.
I don't know how Coke and juice can somehow get into it. Maybe through the vents, but wow. Inside?
Because I think people would use them as tables back then
Oh my
and shit.
god.
Yeah, so that was actually a big problem with those. And I'd find mouse poop. And I knew that,
Oh.
first of all, Dustin wouldn't be sticking his fucking fingers in there if there's mouse shit and stuff.
He's
You
kind
know?
of germaphobe.
Well, you would get that stuff out of there, probably.
Right. Yeah.
You'd get it out while you're fucking fixing it or looking at it or something. Um, but the other reason that I know is because Dustin was the only guy doing repairs at that time, and we would get like hundreds of systems probably per week. And there's no fucking way with how many were being put into stock that he would have been able to go through all of those. And I kind of hardly even saw him do that. I remember a lot of the time he'd be helping a ship or he'd be doing something on his computer in the back at his desk, but there weren't a whole lot of times he was opening things. I do remember seeing him fix stuff, and we would like replace 72 pins on NESs,
Yeah.
because I remember a lot of people that would
Yeah.
cause problems with them actually. Um, but yeah, not every single one gets opened, especially if something gets like low on stock.
Yeah.
They'll just tell somebody to go in the back and grab one real quick, test to see if it turns on, and use that one.
and that's not good, you know, because
Yeah.
you can literally get shut down for having like shit and bugs in your stuff. I don't think Jacob R, when he did any of his unboxings or review tech, had bugs in their stuff, but obviously, um, you know, they were dirty and all that. And you know, when it's one dude, Dustin, like you said, and there's 100 consoles, like clearly quality is going to shrink up a little bit because of
Yeah.
demand. You know, you got to have shit out to sell it, and I'm sure he was getting pressured a lot by Drew and you know, everyone else in management to, you know, hurry the fuck up. But you know, when you're, you know, like we said earlier, when you're providing a luxury service or advertising a luxury service, you have to, you can't shortcut. Like you have to
No.
do it. Like that's
Yeah,
just, it's a requirement if you're going to
100%.
advertise that kind of experience.
exactly. Yeah, like that's why it's stupid, because that's their whole thing is we're DK oldies and we're gonna clean the shit out of and fix the shit out of your consoles to keep retro gaming alive,
Yeah.
and it just wasn't like that.
And one of the theories I had, because I've gotten a lot of games from there, and the games are great. The games are fucking sweet. Like, you know, other than being expensive, I haven't had a bad game. I bought
Yeah.
a fat PS2, and it actually showed up clean as hell. So all I can assume is that it was broken when it came in, and they were forced to open it up, and that's why it got the DK, you know, clean job or whatever.
Yeah. I want to grab my my cappy hat just so I can wear it the rest of this. Just because it's Mario Day, and also I just want to wear it just for the rest of this. I'm so happy and it still fits. However many years later, still fits. But I don't know if my headset will encapsulate. Okay, it's somewhat. All right, all right. My cappy hat still somewhat fits.
But you know, with those old NESs, like you said, you know, if it comes in and it works, that's good enough for them. They don't need to, you know, go into it other than just doing the exterior cleaning. Um, but Dustin, was he? Did you know? Do you know if like he was certified to do this kind of work, or was he just, I can do this, and then they hired him kind of thing?
No, I think Dustin told me, because he's a Marine veteran. I think he told me that's where he learned it. Like he was an electrician or something like that.
Okay, so he's a professional tinkerer.
Yeah, like
Okay.
he learned it from somewhere that I think would be legit. And like I know he knew what he was doing. He could totally fix these things. I did actually get I have a Nintendo 64 that I had him mod for me.
Hmm. All right. Okay, I can't. It's just it's tight on the face. No, it can fit, but like I just can't do it. It's just gonna feel weird anyway. Pulling up. Put back where I had it.
And I bought it directly for him from him. And it's like overclocked, and it has a Dreamcast fan in it to cool it off.
Wow.
Oh,
And the
fuck yeah.
fucking fan
That's
stopped
cool.
working after a few months. So,
Oh.
and like that's not really a hard mod to do. I haven't fixed it on my own yet because I don't really do that stuff very often. I fuck it up even more, but I know that that's not a very
Yeah.
difficult mod to do. So I was like, if you can't even fucking give me a modded thing that works, and you say you know how to do all this shit, like how good are you at actually fixing all these systems in the first place?
He's band-aiding it basically,
Yeah,
and sending it on its way. I used to have a buddy that played an MMO on his laptop that had a broken fan. Like he ran it to an external monitor, and he sat it on top of a box fan. So if you ever get that 64 overheat, man, just get you a box fan and set that bitch on top of that.
I should do that because that's the one reason I don't play that one anymore, and because I don't want it to overheat and get ruined. And it's a
Yeah.
shame because playing GoldenEye on that is fucking amazing because
Oh
it
man.
processes it so much faster.
Yeah.
So like, in GoldenEye you'd blow a bunch of shit up and it would lag the whole screen. That doesn't even happen.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to play it.
Yeah. It does sound sweet. Speaking of Goldeneye, man, they really did a crappy job putting that on the Switch, man. I don't know if
I
you've
haven't even
tried it on the
Yeah.
tried
Switch.
that. No,
It
I had a Switch, and then I actually sold it because I just wasn't interested in playing any of the fucking games on there.
Wow.
Yeah, the controls are ass. I mean, it looks okay, but like it's just shitty controls. They want you to
Oh, the
buy that
Joy-Con.
64 controller, but then Nintendo never has them in stock. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably because of resellers.
yeah, I
I mean,
stopped kind of playing.
that's why I'd always recommend the Pro Cons. Because like you can use the Joy Cons if you really want to ruin your playstyle and whatnot. Or if you want to play on those really tiny buttons. But at least for runs, it makes sense. At least for say runs like of like certain games, it makes sense to use them.
Playing modern video games a long time ago, except I'll still play Xbox One. Like I'll play Battlefield 4. That's
Okay.
basically it. Because
That-
I like to role play that I'm a fucking Marine or some shit. But when I'm
yeah.
like it's like 3 a.m., my girlfriend's asleep, and I'm like, go, go, go. But aside from that, like I
Uh,
literally just play like I have them right here. Fucking Sega, the Super Nintendo, and my 64 are all hooked up right now.
Hell yeah.
nice.
Well, and you don't have to worry about DLC and add-ons and fucking
Nope.
bullshit updates,
Exactly. Yeah,
which
Games
you
right
know
there.
loading.
that's a big deal for gamers in general these days. So I used to do the same thing with Battlefield 4. I'd be screaming, my friend gets shot, I'd be like, he's down, he's down.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I
And
do.
my friends on the mic, they'd be like, dude, calm down. It's not real. I'm like, I know, but it makes me
It
want to
is
do
to
better.
me though.
It makes me want to
Yeah.
do better if I like fucking care,
Yeah.
you know? So it's pretty obvious that Drew thinks highly of himself based on how he treated Anthony and other employees in videos. Is he really that bad, or is he just trying to put on like a cool guy vibe from high school for the camera?
It's funny because I remember seeing that video with him harassing Anthony around the time that I got the job.
Yeah,
Probably after I got the job, to be honest. I probably wouldn't want to work there if I saw it. But I kind of got the vibe that maybe he was just trying to be like a hard ass in a funny way, but that he wasn't a funny guy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like he thought he was being funny, but nobody fucking took it that way.
right.
But after
Yeah.
seeing the other videos of like their podcasts, he'll make fucked up comments to him that he doesn't need to make. And you can see Anthony's reaction. He'll fucking react to random things that he'll say. I don't remember specifics, but he'll kind of make like an insulting little jab at him, and Anthony will be like, okay, like with his
Yeah,
face.
and
So yeah,
as an employee, you eat it. You eat those remarks because you don't want to like get in trouble and lose your job.
yeah, he's the guy that's fucking paying you. Like this is your job right now. So exactly.
Yeah.
So you kind of just take it. And Anthony took it a lot, and that's why he was so fucking frustrated in that one video, because
Yeah,
Drew really was like that. The thing with when I worked there though was, like I said, Drew didn't really come in that often at that point because the Anthony days were like the early days. They were
yeah.
actually located at a different place in Honeybrook, PA. And
Okay.
when I worked there, they had moved into a warehouse in Morgantown, which is close to Honeybrook. Um, so what was I talking about? Because now I lost my train of thought.
We were talking about Anthony used to work, he worked in the older days
I mean,
with the
two
first
locations I had a
warehouse
feeling.
and
Yeah,
then they
yeah.
moved.
So back then, Drew was around people a lot more, and it was a
Yeah.
smaller building anyway. You know, you'd see everybody when you come into work. But since we had a bigger one, he was making more money at that point. He kind of chose when he wanted to come in. So he'd come in, and when I worked there, he'd just sit in his office. He'd come out, like I said in the video, he'd come out to get coffee. He'd literally like get coffee, and he'd come out of the break room and kind of just stand there and look at people, and then think of something shitty to say.
So he could crash on somebody.
Yeah, and I
Like,
think
yeah.
he thought that he was being funny. Like I think he thought that if we got upset, we were just pussies. You know, like,
Right.
oh, it's a joke, pussy.
Oh.
But like, no, it was just fucking rude. And he'd literally stand there and be like, what can I fucking make fun of someone for? It was so stupid.
He is fucking stupid, man. How not to be a manager of a retro gaming store that is now dying?
Or he'd say
Somewhat.
something to
Yeah.
fucking Joey.
That's
Um,
fucking that's high school vibes.
yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Like he peaked in high school or some shit. He was probably one of those baseball assholes
Yeah.
that, you know, on the baseball team and everybody thinks that you're fucking cool. and you're
Right.
not cool now. You're just a dickhead. But yeah,
So
he didn't talk to us that much, and he didn't harass us nearly as much as he harassed Anthony and the others probably.
Yeah.
right, because of exposure to him became less later on.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so people that do that, in case no one knows, they do that. They project hate in a jokingly way to others because it makes it feel better about some shit they got going on that they don't want to talk about, or like some insecurities that they have. So to walk in and just be a dick to somebody,
Yep.
that's why I say it's high school vibes, because I mean everybody wanted to be cooler than everybody else back in high school. So he was really like that, camera or not.
Yeah.
Just
That's
just
really him.
what a dick.
And it was so funny too because Scott is has been his best friend since they were children. There used to be, it's not up there anymore, but there used to be a picture of them on the website with a couple of their other friends as kids. So they've been friends for fucking ever. And yet Drew is such a dick and Scott is one of the nicest people I've ever met. It's
Yeah,
weird. Like, why do you work for this guy? And that's why in some of the videos where Scott's in there, like there's a video where Drew has like a chainsaw controller thing and he's like
yeah, I've seen that.
sawing Scott's neck. That's why it looks like Scott's kind of irritated. And there were a few times where I remember seeing Scott look kind of irritated with things Drew would say. So I was like, why are you even fucking friends with this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely got that vibe. I saw the chainsaw video you were talking about, but like even in the one where he makes fun of Anthony, Scott's only in it for like a
Man.
second. He's like, "What are you working on,
Yeah.
Scott?" Or he's like, "What are you doing, Scott?" And he's like, "Working," and just like power walks away.
Because
So
Scott knows. He's
yeah,
done with this shit already.
he already knows like fuck that guy. Like I'm
Yeah.
stuck with him, so whatever. But no, that's good. That's good to know that he at least had one good owner that was not a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
how I
Scott
feel.
was there most of the time too, so that was really nice. Like,
I had a feeling Scott was going to be the best owner compared to Drew. I really had that feeling.
you at least didn't have the stress of having to go to Drew about anything.
Yeah. And that means a lot too. So that's cool. So DKOldies prides themselves on selling authentic stuff. In regards to the video where Drew destroys the couple of Game Boy Advances that were thought to be fake but ended up being real, like,
I can't believe we're already on this topic. Fuck Drew, man.
do you have any info on why he thought that? Because I figured like he wasn't the one that determined that, right? Since he like doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
honestly
because
have
you don't
no
like retro
idea.
games.
That happened before I worked there, so I don't really have a whole lot of information about that. But I think I heard somebody say that it was maybe he like was trying to upset people on purpose to get views for the company, which it
It surprised me.
makes sense to me if you want to get more people to at least know who you are, um, to do something like that.
I mean, at least to know that you're being an asshole. Exactly. In that regard.
I don't know. I personally think that he did think that they were fakes.
Right. You can just tell like by the way he acts in that video, like
You would have thought they were
he had no
fakes.
fucking idea. Like when he saw that battery at the end, like when one of the employees there pointed that out, you can see it in his face. He's like, he like realized that he just screwed up pretty big.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
But the fact that they didn't take the video down, who knows? Maybe.
Well,
Either that,
that's
either
funny
that, or
too
they're just
because
lazy.
well, it's funny too because like you'd think they wouldn't have posted that video of him harassing Anthony too. So it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what
Yeah.
you
Or
thinking about what you're posting online before you post it, or are you just posting whatever the fuck you want?
yeah. Well, because in his mind, he probably thinks he's really cool, you know.
Yeah.
So, but everyone's criticized that video now, like within the last week and a half. So I know they know about it, unless they've just decided YouTube is no good for them other than making their own videos. They have to know about the video. So I don't see why they wouldn't take it down, unless they just don't give a fuck and they think that it's going to help them in some way to have that, video still out there for people to criticize.
True.
I do
Um,
actually think I could be wrong, but I think they did actually get rid of that video because I'm pretty sure they got rid of the Anthony being harassed video as well.
really? Like
Yeah,
recently?
I think so. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I noticed when I was going through their videos, like I wasn't watching them, but I was kind
Yeah,
of just looking at the thumbnails for all of them, and I didn't
Yeah.
recognize any from the Anthony one, and I was like, oh shit, does anybody notice that he got rid of that? So I do think, yeah, there, because if you look up DK Oldies on YouTube, before it even
Yeah.
fucking shows the link to his channel, it's just hate videos.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's got to be hell for Joey. Speaking of him, though,
Yeah.
you know, him being the social media manager for DK Oldies tends to get a lot of the heat since he's the most associated face people have with the brand. I know you touched on it a little earlier, but like, other than that, like, was there any bad experiences with Joey,
In
or
Bad
was he
Blood.
just kind of clocking in, doing his thing, and clocking out?
I didn't have any like really bad experiences or anything. I always just kind of felt personally that he seemed a little bit arrogant, almost like "don't talk to me, you peasant" kind of thing.
Mhm.
But he wouldn't. He would try to be respectful, but in like a condescending way. I think is the right word to use.
So there's a video of theirs that came out.
So like, no, not like bright, like, except for like the videos on like the YouTube. So not bright, but like at least trying to respect someone's privacy and whatnot. If that's what I'm trying to get at.
A few months ago, where the dude with the glasses is like, I know Joey's doing a live stream. I'm gonna see how many of these Pokemon games he can guess are real in 30 seconds. He's in the middle of a live stream, but I don't care. And he goes and interrupts him, and then Joey's like, I'm in the middle of a live stream. What are you doing? You can kind of see right there, like, how he actually is in
They
that
really
one.
posted that.
Yeah, in
What?
that one sentence. I watched it the other day.
Haven't I seen
I'd
that?
seen it a couple times before that, but yeah, so I can definitely believe you when you tell me that he's different on screen than he
Now I'm
actually is,
curious.
based on
Oh yeah.
his. Because I've studied a lot of human behavior over my years, and yeah, you can definitely tell when shit's like, legit, and when people are pretending
Wow.
Yeah, I'm the same
for the
way.
most part.
Yeah, it's funny too because
Been-
interrupting him in a live stream is not a good idea. Like
no.
I remember, like I told you earlier, I had done that a couple of times, and I felt like an asshole afterward because I could see how kind of pissed off he was. You know, the
Yeah.
camera's not on him, but I can see his fucking face, and he looks kind of irritated. Um, but yeah, he's definitely different off camera. He's not like a major asshole or anything. He won't just fuck with you or anything like that, but he did kind of just come off with having a shitty vibe to me personally.
Yeah, people have caught up, or they've caught on to it too. In comments, they say he's too creepy. He's overselling this character in some of the videos and stuff. But
Oh,
Somebody said he
100%.
probably chopped up and ate his family or something like that.
oh my
What?
god,
Oh my god.
do you know if like he was put in that role because Drew wasn't getting a lot of success on YouTube? Because it didn't really take off until Joey was kind of doing the shit, right?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah, that's true though. I don't really know where any of those people came from, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's some old videos that have completely different employees that I've never even seen before, so I don't even know how things changed or how they found any of these people. I think that Joey he like wrote shit for a gardening magazine or something before working at DK. I think I heard. But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know how they found him or anything like that. I don't know how he became social media
I don't
manager. I
know.
know that everybody starts out as a shipper though, including him.
Okay.
Who knows?
So apparently at some point he was just a regular like cleaning games kind of person.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you'll get a lot of turnover with those types of jobs for sure.
Yeah.
Um, So, without incriminating yourself or anyone else, can you confirm the rumors that have been going around that there was drinking and smoking weed and partying during work hours? Or was it at the warehouse and it wasn't during work hours that all of that shit went down?
So there wasn't any like partying. We were allowed to during the summer of 2020. I think it was the summer of 2020. We were getting a lot of orders, or maybe it was like around Christmas. No, it wasn't Christmas. It was the summer. Sorry. We were working more hours because we got a lot more fucking orders, and
Yeah.
they would, like I said, everybody would leave at 4 except for like the shippers and Dustin. And
Mm.
Dustin would,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure Drew knew about this. Dustin would have beers in the fridge, and if you're over 21, you can go drink a beer. Um, so I'd have a couple beers there just while working on my shit, and it was pretty nice, and that was very relaxing because you don't have Rob there being a dick. You don't have Drew there being a dick. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about Scott coming out and being like, you're drinking beer and shit. It was just very relaxing. Dustin was very fucking cool most of the time. So, especially when we were having beer and, put on some fucking cool music. Dustin is also super into metal.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, we bonded over fucking extreme metal like that, which was cool. And he'd play some cool shit. But yeah, there was no partying. I personally don't
So it's
care.
more of just a casual. We're living here because it's busy as fuck. Let's just like kind of take it chill.
Yeah, it was just like after
Yeah.
hours, like a lot more chilled out kind of thing. Don't take it so seriously.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, if you could do that every day at any job, I'm sure productivity would be so much better because everybody'd be so fucking happy.
It was so nice because
Oh, yeah.
everybody would cracking fucking jokes about things, and sometimes we'd listen to podcasts or like stand-up comedy things, and it would just be hilarious. Like everybody would have a really good energy. That's the times that I really enjoyed working there. It's funny
Mm.
Yeah,
because none of my fucking managers and shit were there, and it had to involve alcohol. But yeah, those were the times that I really liked being there.
I hear you, man. So I know you probably
Uh,
didn't know Anthony, but I have to ask because I'm totally a fan of Anthony after the way he, talks back to Drew when he's a dick to him. Are
yeah.
you friends with him at all? Like, do you know him? Do you know if he's doing okay?
So
Obviously, he's not there anymore.
yeah, so I don't know Anthony at all actually. And the stuff that I said about Anthony in my videos and shit was told to me by Dustin. So Dustin and Anthony were friends. And Anthony worked there for a little while, but he left there. He left like maybe a couple of years before I even started. Um, but I don't
Yeah,
really know how he's doing or anything. I don't keep up with him.
I feel
I
you, man.
do know that he is in a band or was in a band.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I think
and
they had mentioned that a couple of times. Was it
yeah,
metal?
no, it's actually, and I never listened to it until last night, and it's like acoustic kind of stuff, and it's really
Okay.
fucking good. Like
What's
I'm
it?
very
All
Do you
right.
picky
remember
with the
the?
kind of stuff.
Do you remember the name of it?
All right.
Um,
Shout
I
outs to
really
Anthony.
don't. Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, and I don't feel bad about saying his whole name just because it's already in that one video that Drew put up. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you go on YouTube and type in Anthony Leach, um, I think it's Leitch or something like that,
Oh,
you'll
like
see a
David Leach.
Bandcamp account for I don't remember what the hell it's called, but yeah, that's his, and he's really really fucking good.
Okay, now I'm curious right now. I'm not showing it on stream. I actually have another window set up, so I have another window open, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, I see Bandcamp. I'm trying to think. Was it about 1 million? Is it? No, that can't be right. But ugly puppies. Let me hear that. That might be it. I really don't know. I don't know which. I don't know.
I thought he played the
But cool.
drums, but he actually plays guitar.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out, man. Because like I said, I kind of like bonded with him when I saw how like he was being treated because I've been in those shoes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure, a lot of people that watch these videos have been there too. Um, so what would you say to Drew if he was here right now? And it's not like Maury, like he's not gonna come out of any of these doors, or to anyone else, like management wise, not necessarily by name if you don't want to drop that. Um, but if you had like no consequence, like they had to just sit there and listen, they couldn't say shit back. Like, what is there anything in particular you would say or get off your chest?
I would definitely explain to Drew why it is so important for him to not be lying to people about this. Because it's a big part of my childhood is playing these old games, which is why I was super excited to work there. So I would probably just go off on him about how shitty it is to be fucking lying to people about their stuff being clean and working when it's clearly not, and it's disgusting. And I
Yeah.
personally feel like if it's, if everything is cleaned and fixed up, you're going to have a better experience. And if you get original controllers, you're going to have an authentic experience.
I meant to ask
And
you about the
Wow.
controllers. Actually, I'll ask you in a second.
okay, um,
Cool.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot I would probably say to him other than that because I wouldn't want to waste my breath. I fucking hate that guy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the fact that we are already blowing through this and there's not even like 20 minutes left. Wow.
I would ask Scott why the fuck he works there if he's so nice. um,
If he's still.
but other than that, there's really nothing I could say to any of them. I mean, the employees themselves are just doing their job, and Scott I think is just trying to do a good job, and he's the co-owner of the company, so he's supporting his family with this money, and
Yeah, and also like trying to do the best that he can to make sure that the company doesn't fuck up again. But Drew unfortunately is making it fuck up.
he's not going to want to say anything, and he already seems to not like Drew a whole lot, so it's mainly just Drew, and that's what I would say to Drew is what the fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say a pretty similar thing, just because like he's just dishonest, and the
Yeah,
Oh,
fact that it's went on for so
100%.
long and been revealed, and they just keep trying to play it off, and they're not even trying to address it. Even a lot of people have said in comments of my videos, they're like, "Man, I would just have some respect for them if they would come out and be like, you know what, we did." Some bad practices. We're sorry. We're going to try to do better. That would go a long way
yeah,
to own up to your mistakes because everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Um, not to the scale that they do, by making,
Really?
probably six
No
figures
way.
a week in
No way.
sales. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not cool. Now, I was going to ask you about the controllers. So, do you know, like, was it always like that where you had to pay an upcharge for the controllers? Because I imagine they get these third party ones. And Retro Gaming Guy actually did a video on this where he
Yeah.
was pointing out these wholesalers where you could buy, 50, 64 controllers that are like third party and get them for like $3, $4 a piece.
wow.
So, um,
I know this wholesale for. All right, I'm getting off topic.
he was saying, and I believe him because it makes sense from a business standpoint, especially when they're greedy like Drew,
Yeah.
that you would be like, well, if I give them this bullshit controller, I save a lot of money because obviously the original controllers are worth more money because that's the
Yeah.
luxury experience that people really want. So he makes more money off of, upcharging $30 on it. So was it always like that? Or did they used to give you whatever they got with the system? Because even GameStop has always been like that, where if it's traded in with a bullshit controller, that's the one that you get. Or if it's
Yeah.
original, that's what you get.
No, yeah, it was basically, as far as I know, it was that you had to select that option for an original controller when you purchased it.
Yeah.
If you wanted to upgrade, and the upgrades were always insane. Um, as
Oh
far as
yeah,
I
I'd imagine.
remember, they did have some kind of a thing with like Retrobit or whatever company was selling them the
Oh
controllers.
yeah.
So that's why they would use those as default ones. And the
I hate
funny part
retro
about it was
controllers a bit.
in the back room where Dustin worked was also where the testing went on. And there's a couple of videos on YouTube of them when they're back there. Like there's one where Joey shows how to resurface a disc. And if you look in the background, there's boxes everywhere on shelves, on the floor.
Yep.
They're all fucking overflowing with cords and controllers.
So many damn boxes. Keep in mind, it's fucking horrendous, man. You should not be holding like hoarding this much. They probably don't need a lot. If I'm being all honest.
Everywhere that have
I don't know.
literally probably sat there
That's
for
just me.
years. Like you could dig through these boxes and find insane shit. And there were so many original controllers, and I'd say most of them worked. Like it was only probably a few every so often that were broken.
Yeah.
And they were just sitting on them. So I feel like they totally could have been giving people original shit without even having to upcharge them or have the fucking third party
True.
one. And I hated the third party controllers anyway because you're not getting the authentic experience with that in the first
Exactly.
place.
Yeah.
Like I'd feel the exact same thing if it was like a Nintendo Switch that was pre-owned and I wanted to have one with the Pro-Con. You know, let's say if it's the Splatoon OLED one, which is what I have, and I want the Pro-Con right here. Okay, that's a bundle bonus. And they give me a knockoff Pro controller, third party wise. No, I'm not gonna accept that. No way. I wanted OEM, not third party.
Yeah,
Those
they're
ones
shit.
suck. Yeah,
They're
they're
shit,
fucking
man.
awful.
There's only been like a couple of like third party controllers in my lifetime that I've used where I was like, damn, that's pretty good.
Yeah, me
Hey,
too.
it's pretty good.
So it's always been a greed thing. Like they're like, dude, we could upcharge him $30. I don't know if the upcharge was always $30, but dude, when you're looking at like that 4-player Nintendo 64 pack and you want 4
Oh my
original
god,
controllers,
dude. That is so people would do that and it would be so crazy expensive. I'd be looking at this packing slip like, how are you
Yeah.
spending this fucking much money on all these controllers?
I know because it's like if you for 4 of them, that's $120 extra.
Yeah.
And
Really?
don't even get me started about these NES power supplies. These third party. What is it?
Oh, yeah.
Old School is the
I
brand.
hate the old
Oh,
school
the AC
brand.
adapters? You're talking about
Yes.
those ones that are like
Yes.
2 AC adapters in one?
Yeah, it's like a yellow box.
Yeah, there's one for an NES and then one for a Super Nintendo. I
We
have
used
one
to
of
sell
them.
those. We used to sell them shits all the time at my local store, like game store that I worked at, and it was always ass.
I
So
hate
bad.
them. I
Yeah.
have one hooked up with actually with my Super Nintendo, I think right now. And that other fucking cord gets in the way. And they're so cheap. Like that could rip
Mhm.
very easily.
Yeah, it's like paper thin.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's awful.
It's like old school speaker wire, except old school speaker
Yeah.
wire is actually tough.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
it's like fucking cheap headphone wire. And like it's weird because if their whole thing is let's keep retro gaming alive, why are we giving people terrible products that will probably break very quickly compared to
Yeah.
the old shit? You remember like the cords they had on controllers and cords and everything, that the stuff they were made out of was always a lot better quality.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because like they wanted it to actually be good.
Yeah, like I have some N64 controllers from 20, was it like 20 fucking 4 years ago probably, that we got fucked up by my dog, like my dog chewing on them, and they still fucking work.
Yeah.
And like if you
You're,
do that with a controller
Yep.
now with one of these third party ones, they're the way they're made so fucking cheaply that would just completely ruin it.
Yep.
yeah. No, I'm totally with you on that, man. The controller is that's the biggest fucking selling point, man. When you're
Yeah.
buying used consoles, you want
Exactly.
to know. You're like, dude, does it have an original controller? And that even PS2 games, PS1, Xbox, anything. Like you want to have the original shit, especially if you're spending $200-300. So
It's like
that
it's
just
ridiculous,
sucks,
man.
Especially since Jacob R said they gave him the third party one with his PS3, and it was fuck,
Exactly.
like backwards compatible with the backwards compatible PS3 or something. Like
Yeah,
what the fuck?
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Just this, like I already knew, like I know I'm going further beyond. I already knew that with the PS5, the PS4 controllers were not going to be compatible with PS5 games. I knew that going in, but you can still play them with PS4 games. I knew that. But to make a PS3 controller that's not even compatible with the PS2 games? What the fuck?
How
Exactly.
do you not think of that? You're a game company.
That's another thing too, man. I made a video a long time ago. Like when I first started making DKOldies videos, I noticed that Joey was packing a God of War game with a fat PS2, and it doesn't always happen, but some of those fat PS2s don't read dual layer discs.
Yeah, very true. I had one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So like a dual layer game like Rock Band, God of War 2, those will just not work. And I never really thought that they were qualified to be kind of doing this. They're just, like you said, they start out as shippers, so they don't necessarily have the proper knowledge. And you do
No.
learn on the job and stuff, but when you're shipping shit to people, like you need to know stuff like that.
What was funny about that is that there were quite a few people there that didn't really know anything about video games. Like they
Oh,
didn't play
100%.
video
I believe it.
games. They didn't really know anything about them. It was
Damn.
more like I used to play video games as a kid. Like Dustin plays video games. There were one or two shippers, including me, that actually actively played and knew stuff about them. But there were a lot of other people that were in the shipping thing that they might have known. They might play video games, but they don't know anything about most of the games that we were selling. Which it's whatever. But that's what always kind of bothered me too, is that Drew would seem to hire any of these random like 18-year-old kids and shit that would come in, and they'd be obnoxious and super like they would treat it almost like I work at a McDonald's, like I said, and the kind of teenagers that we would get at McDonald's that work there don't give a shit, always on their phone, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's the same way with them, and they'd hire all these kids, and shit would get broken, things would go fucking missing a lot more. They wouldn't do basic tasks that they're supposed to do, like
Wow. All I can just say is wow.
I tell them to kind of do it, but don't seal their small packages, but put it in an envelope. And then at some point, I'll come around and look at them, and I'll bring them back if they're bad. And at some point, if you're not giving me shitty orders, I'll just let you seal it up yourself.
Yeah.
So none of these people are qualified to really work with any of this stuff. They're just kind of whatever he could get, basically.
Yeah. No, I totally can see that because when you pay so little, that's the kind of people that you attract because obviously someone that's 30 probably doesn't like they can't live off of part-time, $7, $8, $9 an hour
No.
shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless they're like desperate, they won't do it. So you end up with a lot of these 18, 19-year-olds that don't give a shit. They're just there for the Nike money or like
Exactly.
they're spending money and shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. If you're gonna pay somebody $9, you better expect to get $9 worth of fucking work out of that person, which is not a lot these days.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I would imagine, even when you work there, because this happens at every single job ever, but basically they start adding more shit that you're required to do, but they don't want to give you more money.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, now I got to do this every time I pack an order, or damn, I got to do this now. It's just,
Yeah.
but that's not a knock on DKODs directly. That's just fucking average work in America in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
it still
agree.
sucks. But I had one more
True.
question for you here, and then we'll kind of do some plugs for you. In closing, what would you say to anyone as a customer thinking of buying from DKODs
Don't buy.
today if
Don't
they're
buy.
unaware?
I would say if you have the cash, go ahead and buy some of the games from them because, like we said earlier, the games are usually in much better condition than systems. It's way easier to clean a game
Oh yeah.
than it is a system, especially for these people that seem to only have like one brain cell. They can easily clean a cartridge. But I'd say you can buy the games and shit, but honestly, if you're gonna buy a console, I would rather go with eBay, or there are people on Etsy that I think do their own like refurbishing stuff.
I mean, yeah, I have seen here and there.
I would trust somebody on Etsy way more than I would trust Drew, to be
Right.
completely fucking honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't even care about that, I would just go with eBay anyway, because anytime in the past that I've bought a game or system from eBay, it's at least fucking worked every time, because you don't want they have that whole eBay score thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Your
the
percentage to see how
feedback
legit you
percentage.
are. Yeah, so people don't want to fuck that up.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And I believe that shit way more than Drew, than
And
buying
what's
from DKOldies.
another thing about buying from eBay sellers, not only do you like have the feedback rating thing, but even if they don't do a good job, eBay backs it up too. So you got
Yeah,
like
that too.
Yeah.
double confidence in whoever the fuck you're buying from.
Yeah. Exactly. Like what Steve is saying here. The buyer protection. So, let's go right now. Let's go search something up. I'm gonna go. Let's say if I wanted to buy Mario Party 8, I have 5 and 6 as like the most recent that I bought from my Mario Party collection. But let's say if I wanted to buy Mario Party 8, I want to find one that is a trusted seller. I even realized I've signed in. I'll sign in real quick. So, sorry. We'll get back into this in a bit. Why do you the one thing I hate with eBay is that they make you verify before you even log in, when it should be the complete opposite. You log in then verify. But all right. Anyway, let's go ahead and search it up right now. Mario Party 8. Let's find it in complete condition. CIB. Okay, this is a new listing right here. Complete for 39 for essentially $35 you're spending in very good condition. That feedback is very important, 100% positive. And you know what it also says? eBay money back guarantee. If the seller has not done what they're supposed to do of selling you the item, you have the chance to get your money back. Unlike Drew and all the scummy people at DKOldies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, you would be like, you could buy a couple games from DKOldies if you find one that's fairly okay in price. I was telling
Yeah.
people in some of my older videos, I was saying, if you're looking for like fucking Madden 2003, obviously they're not charging a lot for that. If you're looking for those like weird games that aren't Pokemon or something jacked up.
Pepsi Man. If I ever get a PS2 like that's like region free modded, I'll just get Pepsi Man for the PS1 that never released here in the States. And just run that.
Then buying
It's
from
already rare
DKOldies
enough.
is not that bad. I mean, they do offer $10 free shipping, which is really cool. I'll
Yeah,
give them
that is
that.
actually very helpful.
I will give them that. But
Taru.
if you're trying to buy a console or something, man, you got to go somewhere else. Otherwise, you're going to get bent the fuck over, and nobody wants to. Well, I can't say nobody, but for the majority of people out there, they don't want to get bent over when they're trying to buy something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, because the console is more expensive and it's got a lot more parts in it that could break. It's way easier to break.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, 100%.
yeah, if you're gonna buy something from them, I'd say buy a game. Don't fucking buy anything else though.
Oh, honestly, I was only buying games. if I was gonna buy DKOs, just games. Same thing I did with Lukey games. I wanted to wait for the consoles. Honestly, I want to wait on the consoles if I ever decided to buy for Lukey, which I never will for consoles. My Sonic 3D Blast was the only game I bought over there. Otherwise, no console buying. I'm saving them for eBay.
Plus, you're going to have to pay $30 to get an extra controller or like get a real controller. So
Yeah, it's so stupid. You could find so many great deals on other websites. That's why I always thought it was incredibly crazy that he was doing that and thought that that was a good business idea. Like he could be making so much money from
Mhm.
if he would just change the way that he
True.
prices things and be
Yeah,
more
because
honest.
even Joey says, we want prices to be lower because we sell more that way. Such a bullshit way to end
Yeah.
that. I don't know if he put a lot of thought into saying that,
I
but
don't know. I know that Drew would always tell us that he, when he was a teenager, he worked at a comic book shop or something, and that's where he learned like how to talk to customers. He would say, I always kind of interpreted that as that's how he learned to say what customers want to hear to come back.
mhm.
So he's just full of bullshit, and everything that Joey
Mhm.
says essentially comes from Drew because Drew kind of tells him what to do and stuff on camera a
Yeah.
lot of it.
Literally is Drew's bitch. I That's why he's such in such a bad mood a lot of the time, according to Jigsaw.
Time and
He's the
confirms that he can
gatekeeper.
say, yeah, it's Drew most of it. Joey is, I think, supposed to come up with ideas, and I think the social media team they're all supposed to probably come up with ideas because like it's different now that 3 years later that I don't work there, and they've hired more people. So I'm assuming that their roles are to come up with things to make videos about. But I also know that nothing gets past Drew. So any fucking idea that, and I think Sam's. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. I'm pretty sure it's Sam that one interview. I think he even said in that interview that not that every single idea that people had to be run by Drew first. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure
Gotcha.
that's what he said.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense ultimately. But yeah, Drew being the gatekeeper. Um, the thing about it is though, is like, yeah, of course you'll sell a lot if your prices are decent, but if you would actually live up to what you're advertising about shit being a luxury experience, stop being misleading on your website. I'm talking to DKOldies, by the way, not you.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop being so misleading on your website about this cosmetically flawed, good condition shit. Like
Holy crap,
advertise the
man.
actual price that people want for the game. Don't mislead them into clicking on it, and don't always make it out like everything's on sale because we know that's bullshit. And obviously, it's actually illegal to do that. I don't know why the fuck they
Yeah,
haven't gotten in trouble for it. But I went on Wayback Machine, and they were doing that in 2016. It still showed
Yeah.
that shit. So not that the website gets a lot of TLC, anyways. It's usually the same thing. They might go on there and put a blog post or like change the warranty information so people won't
yep,
open the shit up. But um, yeah, you can sell stuff for whatever the fuck you want, but you have to actually follow through with what you're providing or advertising.
yep,
Yeah, and again, like
exactly.
I think he would just make so much more money if he would maybe not exactly lower the prices, but if you would at least be doing enough work that we can pay you that extra bit of money, instead of going to eBay, if I'm going to pay you extra, then it better be for a reason, So
Mhm.
if he
Yeah,
would just start doing that and putting a lot more care into and telling his employees, I mean, to put a lot more fucking care into how things are done, he would make more money. Because why wouldn't you buy from a website that you know you can trust?
It has a
Um,
cool vibe.
yeah, you'd go there because you know that you can trust them. And honestly, as soon until they start doing that, I want to keep letting people know that it's a scam until I can start seeing videos of people buying stuff and opening it and it's not fucked up.
true.
And about the warranty stickers real quick, I don't know if they changed the way that the stickers look now. I think it's funny that they changed that on the website because I don't know if they're trying to cover up that they were doing that or
Mhm.
if they I don't know because I'm pretty sure he knew that that was illegal. I didn't know, but I was going through the systems that I had from them the other day, and the fucking sticker totally says warranty and everything. So I don't know if they're
Yep,
trying to change it or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it's exactly what it used to be, at least.
Right. And they're not certified to even provide that kind of
no,
threat. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah,
not certified technicians. They're not manufacturers. So
yeah, no,
it's all just a deterrent. But the thing is anybody that's smart enough to open the shit up and do that is not going to give a fuck what they tell them anyways because
true.
yeah.
advertising that and then being found out is going to hurt you way more than it does for them that just went out and bought the console just to prove that you're a piece of shit.
I honestly think that they
Yep,
think that their customers are dumb or that they just don't know shit like that.
yes,
And you know
Um,
what? I hate to say it, but from all the retail experience I have, a lot of them are. I stood in line at the
yeah,
post office today for like 30 fucking minutes because this old person that's been alive since they used to use horses to deliver mail still doesn't
yeah,
know how to fucking mail a letter. So I totally believe that. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just like you got to be honest, man. It's all about being a liar at this point. They're lying.
Exactly.
So that's all.
If I had that freaking lies clip from Gamers from Mars, then I'd play it. I don't even know if I can find that. No, I can't find it. Oh.
Questions I had in regards to DKOD. So I know you just hit over 1,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I got mine last week, so you and me are kind of like in the same boat there.
Yeah.
The name of your channel, Jigsaw, which you guys can see on his picture there. I know you got a tell-all video that you had advertised a couple days ago that I'm sure you're going to be rolling out at some point.
Oh yeah.
I know we kind of
I think
covered
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
watch
shit
it
here, but
I think I'm gonna watch it,
obviously
man.
you probably have way more stuff that you can drop on people. So I really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else you want to say or advertise?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm not like a YouTuber or anything really, so um, I am thankful to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. It's really
Oh
crazy
yeah.
to me that in a week I did hit 1,000 because, like I said, I'm not any kind of a YouTuber. It's just ever since I started telling people who I am and like that I've worked for them and
Mm-hmm.
saying all the things I've said, everybody's been fucking looking at my channel. Like I get crazy amounts of
Oh
views
yeah.
that I never thought I
Uh-huh.
would get. So
Yeah,
I
you
appreciate.
gotta get monetized, man.
I was thinking about that, but like I don't want to be a dishonest person, and I probably overthink shit like that. And I hate YouTube ads first of all.
I mean, that's pretty fair, you know? I'd honestly say yes to that. I'd probably be like, if I'm being honest, I'd be the only one to like monetize. If let's say, I'm not saying it will ever happen, but I'd love to talk to Jigsaw about doing like something similar to like what Rich and Jay do on Twitch, where we just watch content and just like poke fun at like the absolutely horrendous shit that happens in said content. Like I want to do something like that, like my own last show, because now it seems like a really cool thing. So yeah, yeah, Jigsaw is great for posting about it, and I love to do shit with them and whatnot.
Like I fucking hate them. I remember when I was like younger and YouTube was like classic YouTube, didn't have stupid ads like that.
Yeah, and the gold subscribe button, that's like fucking amazing.
Or like I remember when they started putting them as little pop-ups in the window.
Yeah, but that's annotations for you. Fucking annotations. Bring them back. Bring them back in HTML5 form, and then we can all thrive.
That was annoying back then.
Yeah.
But now you gotta fucking, if I want to go to bed and I want to put a white noise video on, you gotta listen to this loud ass 10-second ad first.
Oh
and
yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, so I never wanted to get monetization on them, at least. But I've thought about like doing.
I mean, sort of. Like I wouldn't say all the way, but
other content because people have said that if I ever make anything else, that they'll totally watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, please. You have the floor, Jig. Go right ahead, post away. If people want to see more of what you want to do, you have the opportunity. I'm not, like you said, you don't have to monetize. You can totally just post it and be okay with people just giving you the engagement. It's all right.
And somebody suggested doing like, I think like my favorite Nintendo 64 games or something like that. So I might
like a tier list. Oh yeah, it's just okay. I actually second that idea.
do that. I feel weird about it though, because like I said, I kind of overthink this, but I know that everybody came to my channel for one thing. And I don't want to just be like, all right, fuck that shit. I'm gonna do this now, and it'd be like something that nobody fucking cares about.
Dude, I feel the same way.
Oh yeah.
I don't want people to be like, oh, you only did that so we fucking watch your stupid videos. But I know that people can also unsubscribe, and that's totally okay because I'm not. Again, I don't.
Yeah, Exactly.
revolve around YouTube or anything like that. I'm a hermit. I do whatever at my house. I watch my kids most of the fucking time and shit like that. So,
Mm.
I think you're a pretty cool guy, man. So like, if you
Oh
figure
yeah,
out
true.
some shit to do, you should totally do it, man. Because I
Oh
think people
yeah.
would really love to
Go
hear
ahead.
about it.
well, I mean, there are a couple things, honestly. I'm into like conspiracy theories, but not like the typical ones, like the JFK assassination and shit. I'm really into like studying what they did with like MK Ultra and Operation Paperclip,
Oh
which
yeah, like I love those type of things. I like that type of deep thing.
is when they like hired
Oh man,
Nazis and shit. So to give us like the V2 rocket and everything like that. I
pace
think that
yourself.
stuff
Oh,
I,
yeah,
I
pace
think
yourself
that
here.
stuff is really interesting and I've always wanted to make videos about that somehow.
I mean, if you
Um
want, go
Pace
ahead.
yourself
but
on
You
the
have the
MK
floor.
Ultra stuff. I did like a 13-hour binge. You know how YouTube rabbit holes go.
yeah, I've
Oh
been doing
yeah.
this shit for years, man. I've
You'll
like
freak yourself out, man. You better be
Yeah.
careful.
Oh
there have been
yes.
times where I'm like, am I like actually being paranoid and am I losing my mind? And I'm like, no, I gotta stay like in reality because it gets super
Yeah.
crazy when you actually start finding like declassified documents and you're looking at all these weird things that we did in the U.S. like
Yeah, and then like the shit just becomes so blurry. Like, my God.
starting Vietnam with a lie and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other things that I've wanted to do were kind of just music related,
I mean, I
I
don't
think.
condone everything, but like, yeah.
Yeah. We got to find our niche, man. You
So
know, we
And I
can't
make
just let.
Doom mods,
theories. What?
kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
the old Doom from the '90s.
Yeah. The
Oh,
Super
Doom
Nintendo
mods.
game, right?
Ooh.
No, well, it's on PC. It came out on PC first,
Oh yeah. Duh.
for,
What the
like
fuck
Doom
am I
2.
talking about?
You're good. You're good. No, I actually got into that when I was like a teenager, and over the years of me kind of doing that every so often, I've gotten kind of good. So
Oh, nice.
I haven't used my computer actually for a fucking while, but I might start doing that again. And maybe I'll release videos like that. There's a video on my channel right now called Fun with Renders where I made a sprites using the 3D model of the fucking heavy machine gun or whatever from Champions.
Wow.
And
Oh, nice.
I took like frames of it and then I turned it into like Doom sprites and just made it into a gun and shit.
Oh, that's cool.
But I've also made like there's a game called Marathon, which is the Mac version of Doom essentially. It's
Yeah, that was like Bungie's first game, or one of their first games.
what they called it in the '90s, and it's made by Bungie. It came out in like 1994. They
I think
have
I heard. I think I've
Yeah,
heard of it.
before Microsoft bought them out,
Never
yeah,
and
they
then
got
fucked with it though.
Sony.
3 games. Marathon 1 is way different from the other two. Um, I actually have been trying for the past couple of years to port the entire game of Marathon 2 into the fucking Doom engine, just so I can play it with more people because nobody plays Marathon anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty
And
cool.
so I'll
That'd be
probably
awesome.
post a video that I have of that on my channel if anybody wants to check that shit out. That's something that I would probably be posting. Is Doom
Yeah.
mods.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I'm subscribed to you, so I'll definitely check it out for sure. But
Hell yeah.
once again, man, appreciate you being here today. Appreciate everybody
Yeah.
for sticking around this long. It was kind of a lengthy one, but you know what? We covered a lot of good shit. So,
Oh yeah.
um,
Worth
Yeah,
it.
and I know I talk a lot, honestly.
oh, that's
I've
why.
never done an
Yeah.
interview before,
I
so
mean,
I'm
man.
slightly nervous.
Oh man, come on, dude. That's why we kicked it G style before we started. That way we could kind of loosen up a little bit. You know what I
Oh
mean?
That was
yeah.
definitely a good idea.
Yeah. Hey man, I know how to do the stuff, man. I've been there, done that. I do interviews suck, man. By the way, uh, just want to say thank you again. Fuck DKOldies. Not necessarily the people that aren't in charge
It's fuck
because they're
Drew.
yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Drew.
Fuck Drew.
Fuck Drew
But yeah,
Steiner.
make sure you subscribe to Jigsaw. Give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and we'll catch you in the future.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Alrighty, let's go, man. That was whoo. Lot of information to be spilled out. I like how at the same time, as soon as I finish the interview, like Rich just ends the stream right there. Wow. Woo. All right. like I said before we started this, I don't think I have anything in mind for later tonight. So, I don't know. I honestly don't know what I want to do. I might just play it safe because I might be eating dinner soon. So I think what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna go straight offline. At this point. As far as who I want to do any rating of sorts, I don't think I have anybody in mind. Although I can check, considering it is Mario Day. I don't know. I haven't realized this is doing Shindo. Okay. Yeah, I honestly don't know who put on. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put anybody on, but thank you everybody for tuning in to the shorts stream. Like, it wasn't like 3 hours, but it was short. I can definitely say that. Mostly reacting to content and whatnot. I'm probably gonna be eating dinner soon, like I stated. So we're going straight offline. If you do want to follow me, if you do want to follow more of the stream and whatnot, you can check out the Extra Point Discord, where I post when I go live over there. I'm like, I really gotta figure out what the hell to do with the Discord. You know, like, consider I did mention the whole thing of, like, you know, revamping, you know, like, there's already channels that are like hidden from like most people that aren't moderators or admins and whatnot. It's mostly hidden, so there's not a lot, but I might just actually just like delete the whole history of those channels. I don't know yet. I have to figure shit out as I go. But when my mind finally gets settled on the Discord, then I will figure out what the hell to do with it. But yeah, there you go, exclamation point Discord. So you know where I go live over there. The exclamation point socials, where I also post, like I've posted some often on Twitter. I want to get back to posting stuff on YouTube because there is the community tab, and I forgot. So yeah. If I remember, I will post. If I do remember, I will post on the community tab over on the YouTube. So there you go, youtube.com/swagbay. I also, and of course, I also have, like mentioned, the VODs channel, which is actually also my main live channel over on YouTube. So actually put VODs, which, there you go. Yeah, you got 2 places for YouTube content and whatnot. I'm not gonna mention the whole thing with shorts because I might just make them all back on the main channel, but I do have a shorts channel. It's just at Swag Shorts on YouTube. That's it. All right. I don't want to do any more self-promoting of the content over on YouTube because I want to make sure I get food. So yeah, I will see y'all probably tomorrow, or if somehow I'm in the best of moods tonight, probably doing Splatoon or something. But I'm probably gonna play it. I'm probably gonna play it safe and just do it tomorrow because of work being at 6 in the morning for my soon-to-be old job. Yeah. Bye, everyone.